Radio Network. Radio Free Larry, presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Rough roads ahead. I was cursed pretty hard in there and going in there. Hit the curb. Coming out here, just taking a turn a little too tight. It doesn't just happen that somebody causes that. So if you ever hit the curb, somebody cursed you. And that's how it happened. Oh, God, rain in the distance. Thank you, Larry. I'm going to try to get a view of that. Pretty good shopping in there. Things I need tend to disappear out of my stores. The ones that are near where I'm like, well, that's not going to work. That's like a thing in the way. A bunch of trees. I can just kind of get this going here. Actually, that's a bad shot. But let me move over to the other parking lot. See if I can do something better. Oh yeah, you got to heal pedophilia. It's everywhere. It reveals it. It doesn't reveal itself because again, they're weird. God reveals it. It's being cursed, and it's up. And some of your children are going to be harmed if you don't heal it. Okay, Larry. Thanks, Larry. Now people get off on that. Cursing people to pedophilia is like their game, quote unquote. These wires are in the way. It's the only way to do it. I got plastic covering my lens, so it probably doesn't look as good as it should. Yeah, I probably thought I took a picture of him when he ran over the corner. Oh, it's a video. I hate when that happens. Is it still going? It's probably still going. Oh, let me put this up. I wonder if the guy that, oh, let me look to see if the, I don't think it's filming now. I don't know. I wonder, hopefully the guy that went to live with somebody in their house is still alive. That's one of the things, you know. Somebody comes up missing and especially for people on government benefit checks. They find out you're on a benefit check and they kill you and then take your check for the next 10 years. And then it's in the news. Thank you. The curse appears to be centered around young girls. I was around a variety of youth, and it appeared that it was being directed at young girls. No, I didn't say that I wanted to have sex with young girls. You got to say that because they'll write it down like that. Oh, I thought that's what it meant. I mean, they're all so weird. They got people out over here, right? But they're all like in panic mode. Again, believing their own shit. Wow, that's a good one over here. God's raining. No, I don't want to follow this person. I want to go over here. But you were planning to follow me, weren't you? Boy, I wish I could get a photo of this. I don't want to do it through my thing here. I got to figure out how to get a photo of this. I guess I'll take one through the... Yeah, all these things are in the way now. I have to go in this parking lot, I guess. But I can already taste the food I bought. I'm trying to take bread out of my diet. Try to put rice and fiber, or rice and not rice and fiber, right? Which is hard. Taking bread out can, remove the fiber. Price chopper, where they chop your wallet. Right. Yeah, they all look panicked. Because you're a big criminal. With the presence of a big criminal. They only knew how phony everybody is. Run around murdering people that shouldn't be even bothered. It's pretty funny, the new Corvette. It finally looks like an Italian sports car, So I'm like, all right, so what is that, a Lambo? Oh, it's a Corvette. Thank you, bro. Thank you, Larry. All right, where am I? Let me think. I want to go that way. That's telling me go this way, though, for healing. I got to heal over this way. Only attractive women. I'm like, ruined my life, you. We're going to marry all of them and marry one of them. Well, God did suggest that people do have multiple wives on this planet, and Jewish people used to have multiple wives. I've brought that before. Some women do better with women, so having two wives actually works if everybody has the right mind about it. Anything more than that gets a little crazy. Well, why do marriages break up a lot of times? Because a woman goes out somewhere else to get companionship, because a man's mowing the lawn or something, and working late hours. We got a woman there. They can hang out with the woman instead of going to hang out with the other women and end up going to the club. Now, I guess the risk is both of those women go to the club. No, a lot of times it used to be that a lot of marriages failed because women would go out to seek companionship of other women and get themselves in trouble. 100%. They owe me a Corvette, believe me, with all I've done for Chevrolet. I was never paid, man. I don't know how that affects your hells, all of you, or your afterlife, but 100%. No, you all know you don't pay people. You know it's intentional, all of you. Well, we tried to pay you, but nothing. I need some food. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I only ate like potatoes and vegetables today. You burn through that real quick. 100%. Potatoes give you a little bit of oomph, but I only had I guess I had a sizable serving. All the skim milk was going in that place. That's weird, huh? All the other milk was there. You know, if I'd have got a few $100s extra in my VA, it'd still be paying me those dividends and be a lot harder to do this to me. 100%. But I guess now they're just going to go, well, any apartment you rent, the sheriff says we have to do a special background on anybody that moves in. So 7 days, gives them time to do their work. That's all it is, really. You see, that's how secret society works. Sounds good, right? You're not keeping your community safe, all of you. Your children are killing each other already. Just a matter of time. Well, it's sin for a season. All of a sudden, they have all this anti-power, and they can control all the money and who gets to move in and who doesn't get to move in. Then all of a sudden, weird shit starts happening, like a Star Trek episode. Next, everybody goes crazy on the ship. Out of here. Trying to put curse words through me. Well, because they just operated me, so they want to make some, drastic change. I already operated that. God, and I tried to dissuade you with that. You didn't. We're not probably using that again. Well, you all just go to hell. You're being written off, given over to hellish behavior and hellish life when God gets you there. Thank you, Larry. No, they're devils, demons, antichrists, witches, and sorcerers. I sense it all day. 100%. So the other real people. But you don't know who we are, do you? Yeah, criminals, man. Horrid, violent criminals. Calling it protecting the community. How low can they get? So I bought this air pump. It's a Levine or something, or Levin. I don't know. I don't even know what it is. But it's some big name. And it's a digital pump, and it's supposedly a zero loss pump. And I get it last night. I pumped my air shock up a little. I disconnected it. It goes. Psst. I'm like, that's not zero loss. And the fact is, when I reattached it, The pounds per square inch were less. The theory is somebody online said all that's coming out of it is what's in the hose. It's not coming out of your valve. That's a lie, because the pressure decreased. Right. If it wasn't coming out of the valves, the pressure would be the same or somewhere close. We're talking 1 or 2 psi. 100%. There's much more loss than that. So again, somebody else on Amazon dinged it and said, it's not a zero loss pump. I was trying to figure out how it was a zero loss pump, because I figured that the piece would be really long, the chuck, and before it ever disconnected the seal, it would let the valve go. But when I looked, I said, "This is a really short chuck. It's shorter than most. I don't know how it's going to work." The Fox doesn't work. The Fox pump. You think Fox is good? Fox is good shocks, but they shitty pumps. Or yeah, I was losing like 15 psi or some shit. 15 to 20. Now I think the shock I'm using it on has a poor setup. Something's off on it. I don't know if it's the valve, because it's not. I don't think it's the valve. I think it is to a certain degree, but like if I buy this pump that I have coming, well, long story short, I sent that one back. I was like, it's not, it's like so expensive. It was like $80. Like, is it $80? It's going to work. No fooling around. No longer a $30, $40, $50 pump. Well, it didn't work. Had a nice digital screen. So there was another pump. They rate because this one has a mechanical feature where you actuate the Schrader valve, and then you by screwing it in, and then you screw it out, and it unactuates it. But it's separate from actually the seal part. So you have to do nothing with the seal until after you unactuate the valve. Right. That's by Two Peak. I guess you say Two Peak. I don't know if it's Toe Peak or Two Peak, but I say Two Peak. But they also have another one with a longer barrel, which makes it double cool. Now, it's not digital, but why do I need digital? So I have that coming. But the other thing is, the shock is scratched, but it seems to be holding air now. But I got to give it time to make sure it's holding air. 100%. Right. And I did a lot of manipulation of it. I manipulated the rebound one way, then the other way, then this way. And then I kept filling it up, and then riding it a little bit while it was, had enough to be safe to ride. Right. And so, again, I probably jiggled something into place. So Diamondback says, contact the dealer that you bought it for, the bike store. Now, my issue is I can no longer say that it doesn't hold air at all. Right. So I contacted him, but I said, look, it doesn't have a sag ring, and he says sag washer. I call it a sag ring, and it has a big scratch on it, and I didn't do it. And I don't know if they honor cosmetic on a shock. Right. So I don't know if I'm going to get anywhere with it. Waiting for them to get back to me. I think they should just give me a new shock, because it's already questionable. Right. It's a cheap shock. It doesn't cost them anything. Right. In fact, by the time the warranties run on this particular model, they'll still have shocks. Right. At least the way they used to do it. I don't know if they do it that way anymore. Usually buy up a whole bunch of spare parts on things that are usually going to go. Thank you, Larry. So I don't know. I got a scratch on it. I mean, it's like 1.5 inches, and it's sizable. I mean, it's noticeable. I mean, the bike otherwise is like badass. I mean, it's only 120 millimeter up front and 100 millimeters in the back. But for that, it does well, and it looks great. It's not my Velvet, which was like, I think, 140, 130, or 150, 140. I think it was 140, 130. I have to look. That was plush. I don't care if I don't, free ride all day. People don't understand. Like if you bought that bike, if you bought a bike that has sizable suspension like that, 140 millimeter up front or 150, and you rode it around town, you would notice the difference. It's like riding a Cadillac. It's like in a Cadillac instead of like a Econo vehicle. 100%. I used to ride my Velvet around town. It was great. I can't buy a bike like that yet. I've got to ride this one and know that I'm fine on that. I mean, it looks great. I mean, it could have been. The hint was there. You know, it was matte black. I used to not like the shock on an angle like that. I used to like the shock straight up and down, but that one's like 1,900 for the one that used to be cheap enough. Because I'm not spending 1,900 on a Mongoose Salvo 29. It's only worth like 12 or 13. 100%. Now I may have been targeted for a price increase on that. 100%. But I'm not paying that kind of money. I mean, I know for like 1,600, I could find something that's like, I wouldn't say twice as good as a Salvo, but a Salvo and a quarter or a Salvo and a half. 100%. The only thing with Giant now, they have their own fork. Now I don't know if their fork works any good or not. It looks like a decent fork. It's not it's probably commensurate with at least the Sun Tour. 100%. For that price range, but they have some pretty good deals if you buy the bike with their fork on it, not their shocks. Shocks they have to market, I think. Rear shock. The stance is a good deal, or you can get a good price. I don't pay full price for a bike. I got this bike for like $800, but again, the shock's not supposed to be scratched. It's brand new. It's $800. This bike cost this model bike cost $800 in like 2019. 2018. Everywhere else it's like at least $1,200. Oh my god! But I had to pay $100 shipping, but it was $800. Man, it's a great steal. But they do too. If they pay $1,200 for it, they got to pay $100 shipping. Or I think it was $1,100 with $100 shipping. But I put like a WTB seat in there, got rid of the Diamondback seat. Been trying to get a Diamondback for years though. Right. I put the spike, got like a more of an upright position because I'm not out there, driving crazy. So I, around town. So I have a Spank Spike 76 millimeter rise. They look better with the big rise handlebars anyway. 100%. VibraCore. So apparently it absorbs some of the vibration, so your hands don't go numb and your muscles get tight, right? And then I have the North Shore Liver Scrins hand grips on there. Waiting for them to get back to me. What's going on there? I might have to call them. I want black rings. Immediately. Oh, my hand grips. What else did I put on there? I don't know if I put anything else on it. Oh, I put slime inner tubes in there. It feels light for its weight. I used to drive around with panniers and everything full of groceries and stuff, so of course it's going to feel light. I adjusted the shifting today. Boy, that worked well. It was a Shimano. I usually use SRAM, so a little bit like. I mean, it's probably similar, but it just wouldn't jive. I wouldn't move. So I looked it up online from Thank You Art Cyclery. So I'd like have this problem because I stop the video and I stop it like, the next like 30 seconds explains the issue I encounter. But I figured it out on my own, and then I push play to get to the next part, and it just explains what I just figured out. But I'm in the community. I see Bob all the time. Bob Hamilton, he waves. And there's something else I see. What's the other thing I see? but I'm not getting like it's trying to take care of me, and they're fighting the community. I mean, it'll take its toll on them. Well, stay peaceful.